This will be a flow class today, and we'll start on our hands and knees, like the last class. Place your hands under your shoulders, your knees under your hips. Make a little space between your knees and spread your fingers out wide. Then look down between your hands and slowly lift the heels of your hands and your thumbs away from the mat. Try to keep your elbows straight and your shoulder blades reaching towards the ceiling. And then slowly lower the heels of the hands and the thumbs. And keep gripping with all 8 fingers as you lift your thumbs, lift the heels of your hands, and then slowly lower them down. Do that one more time. Good. As your hands come down, turn your right hand over and gently push the back of the hand down. You can find an angle that gives you a stretch in your forearm. So maybe right here is enough. Maybe you lean back a little, or to the left a little, to the right a little. As long as you feel just a gentle stretch up your forearm, that's enough. It helps as well to keep your arm straight. And slowly peel your hand. Just open and close your fingers, move your hand around. And then grip the mat with your right hand and lift the left hand, turning it over. So the back of the hand touches the ground and the fingers point back towards the knees. See if you can straighten your arm, your left arm. Then stay right here over the wrist or lean back a little, lean to the left or the right in whatever way that stretches. While you're holding this stretch, if you notice you're breathing a lot through your mouth, see if you can close your lips and start to slow your breathing down in and out of your nose. And take your hand away from the mat and just move your fingers, open and close them. Move the wrist. And then place your left hand down and really feel that all 10 of your fingers are gripping the mat. Your hands are pushing away from the ground and the toes are pointed back. And then start to tuck your tailbone and round your spine, push your shoulders up, relax your neck. And breathe in as your tailbone lifts, your back arches, and your head lifts. Exhale as you tuck your tailbone, round your back, relax your neck. Inhale as your spine arches and the head slowly lifts. Do that a couple more times. And come back to a neutral spine. Make sure your hands are still gripping the mat. I'm going to bring my knees a little closer. Extend your right leg back. Push back through the right heel. And if you notice, your leg lifts and stretches and your lower back drops down towards the ground. Let your leg come down a little until you feel like your spine is not overarching. And hold there. Then lift your left arm, reach it forward. Keep your gaze towards the ground. And find a steady breath in through your nose and out through your nose. And rotate your left palm out and make a big wide circle down by your side, and then place the left hand down. Bend your right knee and take your right knee out to the side. Nothing's going to change in your back, just circle your right knee. These are slow circles. And then change the direction of your circles. The rest of the body is really still. The spine is not moving. Your shoulders are not moving. Your opposite hip is not moving. And place your right knee back down on the ground. Tuck your toes under. If it doesn't feel like too much, sit back on your heels. Give your hands a little shake. You can interlace your fingers and just slowly circle the wrists. And come back down. Grip the mat with your hands, point your toes, extend your left leg back. Notice again if you're overarching your lower back, and try not to do that. So it's more important that the leg is extended back than lifted up really high. And then when you're ready, lift the right arm, reach it forward and look down. And feel your left hand pushing away from the mat, your fingertips gripping the mat. I keep saying mat, but if you're not practicing on a mat, just think of the ground or a carpet. And breathe in through your nose, out through your nose. And rotate your right palm out. Slowly circle it wide and down. And then place the right hand on the mat and bend the left knee. Try to squeeze your heel in towards your hip. And then take your knee slowly out to the side and circle it around. Just continue with a few more slow circles. Change directions. And place your left knee down. This time lower to your belly. My mat is covered in dog hair. All right, lower your mat, lower your body. And then take your arms out to the side. Make a little space between your feet and push your hips into the ground. Relax your forehead on the ground for a second. And as your hips and the tops of your feet push down, lift your arms away from the ground. Feel your shoulder blades come together or closer together on your back. And lower your arms. Do that a few times to get a feel for the movement. Shoulder blades squeeze together, and then the arms come down. If you feel your the tops of your shoulders squeeze up towards your ears, try to let them drop down as your shoulders squeeze together on the back. And this time, keep your arms lifted. Reach your arms down by your sides. And then turn your palms forward and reach back to a T shape. If you want to go higher, you can. If it bothers your shoulder, you can stop here. If you want to circle all the way up, and then turn the palms down as you bring your arms down. Turn the palms up, reach your arms up high or to a T. Turn the palms down and reach down by your side. Let's continue a few more times, slowly moving your arms up and down. And can pause at your T and let your arms come down, let your forehead rest on the ground. Then bend your elbows and rest your head on your hands. Continue to push the front of your hips into the ground, but this time lift your toes, lift your legs. Try lifting the legs a little higher without feeling any pain in the lower back. And then separate your legs. Slowly take them apart until you feel that the muscles on the outside of your legs, outside of your hips, are working. And continue to push your hips into the ground and slowly bend your knees. Squeeze your heels in, and then straighten the legs back out. Bring your feet closer together, hip width apart, and let them rest on the ground. One more time, squeeze the hips into the mat or push the hips into the mat. Lift your legs. Push the hips down, squeeze the legs up, and then separate your legs slowly. And start to bend your knees, squeezing your heels in. And then slowly straighten your legs out. Bring the feet hip width apart, lower them down. Just rock your hips from side to side gently. Right. Now place your hands under your shoulders. Squeeze your elbows in by your sides, look down towards the mat, and push the front of your hips and tops of your feet down. Then lift your hands and let them hover just off the mat. The elbows are in, shoulder blades back and down. And then lower your hands. We'll do that a few times. Feel your shoulder blades pull back and down, then hover your hands. And lower the hands, relax the shoulder. One more time, squeeze the shoulders back and down, hover your hands. And then place the hands down, slowly push away from the mat, sit back towards your heels, and relax your neck. Feel your whole abdomen expand as you inhale and contract as you exhale. Lift your head away from the mat, spread your fingers out, feel them grip the ground, and then lift your hips, tuck your toes, and come to downward facing dog. You can pedal your heels. Look back towards your feet as you pedal your heels. And grip them out a little more with your fingertips. Push away from the ground and feel like you're stretching your hips up higher and back. Slowly walk your feet towards your hands. You can come up onto your fingertips as you walk forward or lift the hands. Then soften your knees, let your head hang forward, or rest your elbows at your knees or your hands at your knees. welcome to hold your elbows if your head is hanging forward. Just rock from side to side, releasing the upper body. Relax your neck and your shoulders, your upper back. And bring your hands to your thighs, knees, lift halfway up. Feel the crown of your head stretch forward to lengthen your back. And feel your weight push down through your heels, the toes grip the mat. Extend your arms out and push through your heels as you reach overhead. And slowly dive forward, soften your knees. Lift halfway up as you breathe in, lengthen out your back. And breathe out as you fold forward. Bring your fingertips to your mat or the ground. Take a step back with the right knee, right foot. Bend your right knee and reach your arms overhead into a lunge. Start to straighten and bend your knees. You can go as deep or as shallow as you'd like in this lunge. So maybe the knees just bend a little, you get a little stretch, or maybe you're going a bit deeper. On your next inhale, straighten both legs, reach overhead. As you exhale, float your arms down, bend your knees, and inhale as you reach back up. Exhale as you lower. Inhale as you reach. Good, stay here. Push off your back foot and come up to balance with the right knee towards the chest. Your arms still reaching. And then slowly tap your right toes as far back as you can. You can reach your arms forward for a counterbalance, and then lift the knee back up. Tap your foot as far back as you can, and then lift up. This time, tap your toes out to the right as far as you can, and then lift back up. Out to the right, and back. Take your right leg behind your left. Tap your toes as far to the left as you can, and then back up. Do that again. This one is a little trickier. Rotate your body to the left and tap your toes to the ground. Rotate your torso to the left, tap your toes. Rotate your torso to the right, tap the toes. Rotate your torso to the right, tap your toes. And take a wide step back with the right foot, lower your heel, open your arms, warrior two. You can walk the back foot further back if it didn't make it in that big step. Feel your breathing start to settle in through your nose and out through your nose. In this position, it might feel like your feet are just sliding away from each other, and there's a stretch here in the inner thigh that almost feels out of your control. If that's the case, and even if that's not the case, imagine that your feet are trying to squeeze back together without actually moving the feet. So just that action, that engagement of your inner thighs is going to be helpful. Look out past your left fingertips. And slowly turn both palms out. And reach your left arm down as your right arm spins up. And both hands are pulling in opposite directions. You can turn your head to look up or any other position that feels comfortable. Good. Slowly come back up to warrior two. The palms can turn down. And try that again. Turn the palms out. Feel your heels keep squeezing together. Reach your left arm down, your right arm up. Good. Reach through your top hand, pull yourself back up. The palms turn down. This time we'll move in the opposite direction. Rotate your palms out. Reach your left arm up as your right arm reaches down. So the hands are pulling away from each other. Your heels are still trying to squeeze together. There's a lot going on. It should feel challenging to be here. And slowly come back to warrior two, palms down. And one last time, rotate the palms out. Slowly reach your left arm up, your right arm down. And then come back to warrior two. Windmill your arms to your top foot. Come onto the ball of the back foot and step back to downward facing dog, straight to downward dog. Grip the mat with your fingers. Stretch your hips up and back. You can continue to pedal your heels if you want, or just hold a static downward dog. And walk your feet slowly up to your hands. Let your chest drop forward, let your head drop forward if that feels okay. You can always stay here as well at your knees. Relax your neck, shoulders. And walk your hands up to your knees. Lengthen your spine, tuck your chin. Reach your arms out wide. Push through your heels as you come up to stand, reach tall, and then dive forward, relaxing your upper body. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale as you fold. Place your fingertips down. Step your left foot back. Bend your left knee and rise all the way up, reaching your arms up. And do that movement really slowly if your balance feels shaky. And then start to bend and straighten both knees. And on your next inhale, reach up, straighten both legs. Exhale as your arms come down, your knees bend. Inhale as you reach. Exhale as you lower. Inhale as you reach. Good, stay here. Push off your back foot and lift your left knee towards your chest. And reach up a little bit higher. And then tap your left toes back. Your arms can come forward for counterbalance and then lift back to the middle. Tap your left toes as far back as you can. You can bend the right knee. And then reach your toes out to the left. as far as you can, and then back to the middle. Reach your toes out to the left and back. Take your left leg behind your right, reach your toes to the right, and then back. Reach to the right, and back. This is a trickier one. Your torso turns to the right, just tap your toes to the ground. Good. Rotate your torso, tap your toes. Rotate your torso to the left, and just tap the toes. Rotate to the left, and tap. I think that was all. Take a big step back with your left foot. Open your arms, warrior two. Scoot your back foot further. Come into a comfortable shape. And you can look out past your right hand. Try to steady your breathing in and out of your nose. When this feels good, remember that feeling of your heels squeezing towards each other, your inner thigh muscles engage. And keep squeezing the inner thighs, the heels in. Rotate your palms out. Reach your right arm down and your left arm up. So there's no weight on the legs here, as in the arms aren't resting anywhere on the legs. You're just holding this position on your own. Reach up through the left hand, back to warrior two, palms down. Try that again. Turn the palms out, reach your right arm down, your left arm up. And reach back up to warrior two. And keep squeezing the heels towards each other. Turn the palms out. This time reach the right arm up, the left arm down. And come back to center, back to warrior two. And this is our last movement. Reach the right arm up, the left arm down. Feel your hands pull away from each other. And then come back to warrior two and windmill your arms forward. Come onto the ball of the back foot. Step straight back to downward dog. And take 2 more breaths in and out of your nose. Gently lower your knees to the mat. Looking at my rough plan here. We'll take our legs out in front of us. Use your hands for support. Take your feet as wide as your mat. And then let your knees drop to the right. They don't have to come to the ground as you roll on the edges of your feet. And lift the knees up. Roll to the edges of your feet. Let the knees, fall to the left. Again, they're not coming all the way to the ground, especially if you have to lift your opposite hip to let them come down. So just for now, try this with both hips down. Do it a few times to each side. And try it a couple of times, letting the knees come all the way down and lifting your hip. And lift your hand as well. Scoot back to the center of your mat. We'll come all the way down to the ground. Hug the knees in. If it feels nice, you can rock from side to side. And let your knees drop to the right. Turn your chest to the right. Reach your arms straight out in front of you, your left arm stacked on top of your right. You can use a shirt, your mat, a little pillow if you want under your head, or just let the head come down. And without letting your knees come apart too much, or your hips rolling back, lift your left arm up towards the ceiling. You can turn your head at the same time. And take your left arm back, reach it back. Since the legs are staying together, you might not be able to bring the left hand to the ground. If that's the case, just bend your left elbow and rest your hand on your side. Just feel the chest and shoulder rolling open. Reach the left arm back again, and then slowly circle it up and stack it on top of the right. So try that one more time, reaching the left arm up, turning your head, turning your chest as your left arm reaches back. And focus on the movement coming from the bottom of your rib cage up and less, or really not at all, from your hips, your legs. And slowly reach back up to the ceiling, stacking your arms, turning your chest and your head. We'll do the other side. You can roll to the other side or sit up and come onto your opposite hip. Reach your arms straight out in front of you again. Stack your knees and your hips. And reach your right arm towards the ceiling. Feel your head turn, feel your chest turn as your arm reaches back. So you have this nice wide feeling in your chest and your arms. If the arm's floating in the air, it doesn't feel good out there, bend your elbow and rest your hand on your side. Reach the right arm behind you and slowly circle it back around. One more time. Open up your right arm, turn your chest, turn your head. And reach the right arm back up to the ceiling and stack it on top of the left. Come onto your back. Bend your knees. Place the feet flat. The feet can be wide with the knees together, or the feet can be hip width. Rest your hands on your belly. Relax your shoulders and your elbows into the ground. Let the head feel heavy. Let the hips and the shoulders feel heavy. You can close your eyes if you'd like. Bring your attention to your breathing. Just notice your breathing. Can you breathe through your nose? Can you start to slow your breathing down? Can you breathe in a way that feels like you're breathing into your belly? Not only to the very front, but to the side, to the back. You can move your hands around and notice where you feel your breath. Can you make it feel like your breath is expanding the sides of your waist and the sides of your rib cage? Can you make it feel like your breath is expanding into the back of your body? Can you make it feel like your breath is expanding the front of your belly, the front of your pelvis? Maybe eventually your breathing can feel like it's expanding into all of those places at once as you take a slow breath in and then a long breath out. Every once in a while, take a second or two to notice if your body is tensing in any other places. Notice if your neck or the tops of your shoulders are tensing up. Your arms are tensing up. Notice if your forehead, your jaw, your eyes are tensing at all. And in those little breaks, when you notice that tension, try to consciously relax your body wherever you feel you've tightened. You can slowly place your hands on the ground. Move your body slowly as you roll to one side. And cradle your head in your arm. Bend your knees. Keep your eyes closed as you push yourself up. And come to any seated position. Try to relax your belly, your hips. Relax your shoulders and your face. Lower your chin towards your chest. And gradually open your eyes. Lift your head back up. Thank you for practicing with me today. If anyone has any requests for classes, it could be helpful. I'm getting a little in need of inspiration. So anything would help.